Upon a Jerusalem rooftop, priests gather, their faces lined with deep worry. Their eyes are fixed skyward, finding no solace in the sun's absent light. The sky hangs heavy, a metallic dusk casting an ominous pall over the ancient city. Whispers of forgotten prophecies swirl on the dry desert wind, adding to the growing dread. Under a sky heavy with unspoken dread, the bells of Street Peters begin to toll, their sound weak and swallowed by an unnatural silence. A ripple of confusion spreads through Street Peters Square as people pause, their faces etched with a growing, palpable fear. The majestic dome of Street Peters looms overhead, a silent witness to the disquiet settling over the crowd. A child looks up, wide-eyed, sensing the shift in the atmosphere, the joyous day now tainted with an unsettling stillness. The echoes of the bells fade, leaving behind a void filled with anxious whispers and fearful glances. As the square braces for the unknown, on a bustling New York street, life grinds to a halt as an unnatural darkness descends. Pedestrians freeze mid-stride in the crosswalk, a silent tableau of impending doom. Towering skyscrapers transform into obsidian mirrors, reflecting the terror spreading across the city. Each window reflects a face, etched with fear as the light fades. The familiar cacophony of the city is replaced by an unsettling, eerie quiet. The silence amplifies the dread as people stare upwards, awaiting the unknown. Inside the bustling laboratory, scientists are hunched over monitors, their faces illuminated by the cold light of flickering screens. Cluttered tables overflow with wires and equipment, reflecting the frantic pace of their work. Data streams cascade down the screens, a torrent of information under intense scrutiny. A palpable tension fills the air, thick with the smell of ozone and stale coffee, fueling their desperate analysis. Muttering voices echo through the room, a chorus of concern focused on solar anomalies and shifting magnetic fields. Each scientist fights against the clock, their collective dread a tangible presence in the tense laboratory. In the Tuscan night, Brother Angelo's aged hands clench his wooden rosary, each bead a silent prayer. The monastery air hangs heavy, a blend of damp earth and the secrets held within ancient stones. A lone candle flickers, its dying flame painting long, dancing shadows across Angelo's weathered face, etching deeper lines of worry. The shadows lengthen, mirroring the growing unease in his eyes as he clutches the rosary tighter. A voice echoes from beyond the heavy wooden door, piercing the stillness of the night. "Angelo, open the door." The voice pleads, laced with chilling vulnerability. "I am cold, my son." Angelo stands alone amidst the imposing silence of the monastery, the ancient stones bearing down on him. His mind is haunted by the forbidden prophecy of the Liber Tenebris. When the veil is torn, the dead shall borrow the voices of the living. He presses his hands against his ears, desperately trying to silence the dread that claws at his sanity. Tears stream down Angelo's face, a silent testament to the overwhelming fear that consumes him. Across the globe, cities glow with an eerie, screen-lit luminescence, casting long shadows on deserted streets. Cryptic symbols flash across countless displays, their meanings obscure and unsettling. A serpent coiled tightly around a cross, its image flickering like a dying ember, hints at ancient conflicts. A clock with no hands appears, a stark symbol of time unraveling and the future uncertain. The chilling words echo in every language. The second seal is broken, a haunting prophecy spreading across the digital world. Inside the farmhouse, flickering candlelight casts long, dancing shadows across the faces of a family gripped by fear. Marek, his face etched with worry, meticulously seals the door frames with blessed wax, each press a desperate plea against the darkness. His children, eyes wide with terror, stifle sobs as the wind howls outside, sounding like a tormented spirit. The ancient wooden beams of the farmhouse creak and groan under the relentless assault of the storm. Marek's voice trembles slightly as he quotes scripture, a fragile shield against the encroaching dread. And there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. The candlelight flickers again, threatening to extinguish, mirroring the family's waning hope against the overwhelming darkness. In the Polish countryside, the farmhouse stands silhouetted against the night, the air thick with an unseen, rhythmic hum. A slow, deliberate knock echoes from the heavy wooden door, shattering the silence. A voice calls out from the darkness, laced with chilling desperation. "Papa, let me in. It's so cold." The voice, haunting and familiar, is that of Marek's missing son. Inside the Polish farmhouse, a mother's scream shatters the stillness, a sound of raw terror that fills every corner. The single candle flickers wildly, its light dancing across the rough-hewn walls, as if mirroring the mother's fear. With a final sputter, the candle dies, plunging the farmhouse into an absolute, suffocating darkness. The darkness deepens, pressing in from all sides, heavy and absolute. A heavy, suffocating silence descends, broken only by the echo of the mother's scream, leaving an unsettling void. Continents begin to fracture, the earth itself groaning under an immense, unseen strain. Oceans convulse and boil, colossal plumes of scalding steam rising to choke the sky. Those who risk a glance outside witness the advance of shadows, purposeful and malevolent. Creatures vaguely human in form emerge, their presence a stark distortion of reality. Their eyes are like perfect mirrors, reflecting a twisted, nightmarish world back at the doomed onlookers. Panic spreads as the mirror-eyed figures advance, heralding the end of days. Flickering candlelight casts long, dancing shadows across the ancient basilica, illuminating the faces of the last cardinals. Aged hands, trembling with anticipation and fear, strain to unlock the hidden vault. Inside, nestled upon a velvet cushion, lies an obsidian tablet, its surface etched with strange, unknowable symbols. The solemn words echo through the basilica. When the 3 nights end, the beast shall walk among men, not as a horned terror, but as light. The candlelight glints ominously on the tablet, promising untold darkness. Across the globe, a new light rises from the earth, its glow ethereal and unsettling. People stop, heads tilting skyward, as the strange light bathes the world in an otherworldly hue. A slow smile spreads across their faces, an expression of serene acceptance taking hold. One by one, they kneel, their eyes fixed on the radiant source above. The smiles remain, peaceful and unwavering, as their breathing ceases. Silence descends as the light continues to ascend, leaving behind a world stilled in tranquil surrender. The sun glares down upon the ruined cities, casting long, harsh shadows across the skeletal remains of buildings. Gaunt and ragged, survivors emerge from the debris, crawling like insects from their shattered homes. Their eyes are hollow, reflecting a vacant despair that chills the very air. Survivor 1 whispers, his voice raspy and faint, "They spoke of voices." Survivor 2 responds, her voice barely audible, promising salvation. Survivor 3 shivers, clutching at rags as he finishes the haunting tale. "If we follow the light." In the damp stone church crypt, Elara clutches the tattered manuscript. Revelatio Obscura. Faint light filters through cracks in the high ceiling, illuminating the ancient, brittle parchment. She pores over the final, cryptic words, her brow furrowed with dread. 3 days shall the world drown in darkness. The text whispers of impending doom, when the dawn comes not from heaven but from below. The chilling prophecy continues. Know that the final age has begun, the manuscript warns, as shadows lengthen in the crypt. Amidst the skeletal remains of a ruined city, Elara walks, her figure a solitary echo in the unnatural silence. Her footsteps are the only sound in this ghost-like place, each echoing step a testament to desolation. Barely audible, she whispers a prayer, a fragile plea against the backdrop of decay. A pale, ethereal light clings to her silhouette, a false dawn painting her form like a shroud. The eerie light follows her relentlessly, a ghostly companion in a city stripped of life. Bathed in the sun's golden light, the earth appears serene, yet a silent dread permeates the atmosphere. A heavy, unseen force darkens the edges of the world, hinting at an encroaching shadow. The vibrant blues and greens of the planet seem muted, as if holding their breath against an unknown terror. A voice, cold and absolute, echoes across the heavens. And there shall be no more night. The words hang in the air, a chilling prophecy of a world forever shrouded in darkness. The sun's rays falter, struggling to penetrate the encroaching gloom as they have chosen darkness as their god. Bathed in sterile white light, the laboratory hums with activity as scientists in lab coats swarm around, fixated on screens filled with intricate data. Beakers bubble and machines whir, filling the air with the sharp, acrid scent of chemicals, the tangible essence of science. Dr. Ellis, her gaze sharp and dismissive, stands amidst the controlled chaos, a beacon of pragmatic focus. Anomalies flicker ominously across a monitor, subtle hints of the unknown, yet they remain unseen, lost in the pursuit of empirical truth. Divine intervention? Please, Dr. Ellis scoffs, her voice cutting through the sterile air. We deal in facts here, not fairy tales. In the dimly lit Vatican archives, dust motes swirl in the single beam of light, revealing the ancient script of the Liber Tenebris. A cardinal hunches over the forbidden text, his face a mask of deep worry and growing dread. He frantically scribbles notes, the weight of his terrible discovery pressing down on him. His trembling hands betray the enormity of the secret he now carries, a burden that threatens to shatter his faith. In the sun-drenched streets of Rome, a shadow begins to fall, casting a pall over the ancient city. A young mother clutches her child close, her eyes wide with growing terror as darkness descends. Panic rises like floodwaters, threatening to engulf the narrow streets and desperate souls. Her knuckles whiten as she grips a simple crucifix, a beacon of faith against the encroaching despair. Soft whispers of hope and reassurance escape her lips, a fragile shield against the storm. The child looks up at her mother, seeking solace in her unwavering strength amidst the chaos. In the heart of Jerusalem, a synagogue glows with the soft light of flickering candles. A rabbi's face, a roadmap of worry, is illuminated as he guides his congregation in prayer. Voices tremble with fear, ancient psalms echoing as pleas for protection against the encroaching darkness. Each word hangs in the air, a desperate beacon in the deepening night. Under the relentless desert sun, a lone nomad treks through the desolate expanse, his silhouette stark against the horizon. His weathered face, a roadmap of sun and wind, tells tales of endless journeys and dwindling hopes. He clutches a staff, his only companion in this barren world, each step measured and heavy with weariness. A water skin, once full, now hangs limp, mirroring the fading promise of survival. The endless sands stretch out before him, an ocean of despair under the scorching sky. Above, the familiar stars, once guiding beacons, dim and vanish, leaving him lost in the encroaching darkness. In the dim underground bunker, a flickering light barely pierces the oppressive darkness, revealing huddled figures. Dust motes dance in the weak light, each speck a tiny beacon in their subterranean world. Meager rations are shared, each bite measured and savored as a precious lifeline. Whispered stories of hope circulate, fragile threads of resilience woven against the despair. At the center, a former military officer stands, his weary eyes reflecting the weight of his responsibility. His low voice, though strained, carries the unmistakable authority needed to maintain order in their refuge. A lone figure is perched atop a mountain, their form stark against the pale, gray-tinged horizon. Fear and fascination war within them as they gaze upon the false dawn. The air is still, save for the whisper of wind around them. Slowly, deliberately, they raise their arms, It is a gesture of surrender to the vast, indifferent sky. Sunbeams cut through the ruined church, illuminating dust motes and the shattered remains of stained glass artistry. Elara stands before the huddled survivors, their weary faces reflecting a mixture of hope and deep skepticism. She holds aloft the ancient Revelatio Obscura, gesturing as she speaks with fervent conviction. The light you see, the salvation you crave, it is a deception, Elara warns, her voice echoing in the dilapidated church. We must resist its allure. We must find our own path, even in this darkness.